Miami.
Think about what it could be like for Rutgers when Mulcahy comes back into the lineup, and then McConnell's got his legs underneath him because he played in just the last game. That's his first game back, and now getting his first start of the season
and
here tonight.
It's a big lineup. I mean, they're big, they share the basketball well, and they understand who they are and also what they're not, which is a good thing.
Our officials for this one, Bill Covington Jr., Brian O'Connell, and Tommy Morrissey here tonight from Miami. Hurricanes, one loss in the season to Maryland. Boy, that team's really good, right? Can't wait to see what they can do this year.
Surprising. Yeah. You don't expect that from year one for Kevin Willard, but so far so good.
And inside to get things started is Norchad Omier.
I like that they're going right at Cliff Omier. He's just a big beast down low. He blocks a lot of shots and dunks a lot of basketballs.
Here's your starting five for Rutgers tonight, as you said. Simpson had been in the starting lineup, the true freshman, but McConnell is back, number 22. We'll keep an eye on him and his progress here tonight. Only loss for Rutgers this year was to Temple. Inside, it was Mawat Mag, couldn't get it to go. Omier, who does such an amazing job boxing out and getting rebounds, has it for Miami.
But also going straight up there.
Underneath is Jordan Miller on the reverse as you look at the Hurricanes starting five here tonight. Pretty solid for them. Coach Larinaga told us that he can go 6 to 9, maybe 10 deep, but it's a rotation of, what, 2 guards, 2 forwards that he's kind of seeing how they
You're
perform.
feeling it out at this point in the season because you're trying to figure out kind of who can be the initiator, the facilitator. How can we play Isaiah Wong in this position off the ball? Nijel Pack still learning that point guard position. He's more of a combo guard, but obviously handling the basketball is something he's going to have to do here and beyond.
Here's McConnell, works it into Mag. Going up against Nijel Pack, Mawat Mag, and the first basket for Rutgers tonight.
You got to find where you're going to have the advantage, and you have to play to your advantage if you're Rutgers. And not a dynamic offensive team. They're so good defensively, so they can be efficient on the offensive end. And part of officiating is, part of efficiency is finding out where you have the advantage.
Here's Wooga Poplar, pulls up and he hits. Good start for the Canes, shooting in this first couple of minutes of this game.
And the biggest challenge for Miami when you watch this game is ultimately how do they adjust to the different defenses for Rutgers? How do they adjust to a zone? How do they adjust to a matchup?
Traveling violation. Coach L, how about it? His 700th career victory a couple of games ago. They honored him here before the game tonight at midcourt.
When you look at wins at one institution, you think of overtime, that's service to the institution. When you think of 700 career wins in college basketball, that's service to the game. So for that, I think a lot of us would say thank you, Jim Larinaga. I mean, service to the game keeps it going.
7 plus, 20 plus winning seasons, the most by a Miami head coach, and he's going to be inducted into the Miami Sports Hall of Fame next year. This pass knocked down and intercepted by Andre Hyatt.
Well, that's an example of not reading the zone correctly. If you understand they're in zone, you understand what passing lanes are there and which passing lanes are not there. Can't throw through the middle of the zone.
McConnell working against Isaiah Wong. A little bit of a size advantage, and he hits it off the window.
Size advantage, but not an easy shot. I know for Caleb McConnell, it's going to be good to see the ball go through the net, so you want to take good shots early. But really, he's going to get back and find his rhythm on the defensive end.
Miller again on the reverse. Wanted a foul, no call. The Scarlet Knights running down by 2 here early. Just over 3 minutes gone by first half. McConnell got to call him for the offensive. On the wraparound. You talked about it, his defense, John. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year, had 70 steals. He does it on both ends of the court.
It's amazing to think how many steals he got, and a lot of it's on the ball, but he is great in terms of anticipating where the ball is going, getting it in passing lanes. He's got great length, but he's played enough basketball to have a good feel for the game.
A lot of family members in attendance for him here tonight from Jacksonville, Florida. His mom and company in the house here, close to 25, 30 family members to watch Caleb McConnell. He's back in action. Here he is. He pulls up from mid-range. Couldn't get the bounce. Offensive rebound, not there from Mag. Too strong. Omier lost the handle off his leg. Rutgers possession. Kind How about the job that Steve Peichel has done? 7th season, they've went to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. Probably would have been 3 straight, but obviously 2020. So they're trying to go back-to-back-to-back. That's his message for the team this year. If they can do it, John, first team ever in Rutgers history to do that.
It's hard to put into words the job that Steve Peichel's done at Rutgers. When you think about how irrelevant they were, you go to the Big Ten and you're even more irrelevant. Now, you have a team that nationally is talked about as a tough out. And quite frankly, a couple years ago, they should have beaten Houston. They had that game won. Just let it slip away. But this is a program that's on the up and up, and they're not doing it by having the best players. They're doing it by developing the best team.
Hyatt got it knocked out of his hands. Wong feeds Poplar. Runs into a roadblock, and that's almost intercepted again. Nifty dribbling from Miller behind the back for Omier.
That was close to being a broken play. It was broken on the defensive end because they got scrambling. Offensively, it really comes down to take a broken play and turn it into an opportunity.
Awesome pass from Jordan Miller. 8-4 Hurricanes. Timeout coming at the next whistle. We played almost 5 minutes in the first half. And we'll have that break now as a foul is on Omier. And a good start here for Miami. 8-4, they lead.
What do you think here, partner? Is this a good play, broken play, or just an incredibly athletic play? Look, these guys, they are so skilled. It just comes down to whether they can put those skills together, make up the type of team that can make another run. For you, like, what style of game do you want against this Rutgers team? And he went back to his principles. He said, look, that wins anywhere. And I thought it was a great point.
Here's Mawat Mag for Rutgers. McConnell, again, using the window there, and it's a 2-point game.
Using an angle and physicality, right? He had a good angle to the basket because of that Isaiah Wong coming up, trying to take it away, coming hard over that screen. Good angle, used his body, created space, and just off the glass. Apparently the glass still works.
6 of Miami's first 8 points have been in the paint here tonight. A.J. Casey is in. He kicks it to Miller, who misses on the 3, and McConnell's got it. Amori got it.
I'm sorry to laugh, but like he palms the ball like it's a tennis ball. And when you watch him dunk, because there's a 99% chance he's going to have a dunk in this game, it honestly looks like he's slamming a tennis ball into the basket.
You said you saw that in warm-ups here as the jumper is off the mark from Nijel Pack, who's coming off a really good game, 16 points in the win at UCF on Sunday evening. Back to McConnell. He's had his way here, and he tries this one. It's short. Miller's got it. Pack, good look to Casey, and it was stripped out of his hands by Mawat Mag. Early season for Rutgers. As you said it, Mulcahy, the senior guard, had like a stinger in his shoulder, so he's now missing his 4th game of the season here tonight. But McConnell's back, so it's going to be a drastically different looking Rutgers team right as we move forward this season for sure.
It should be, but you hope that they can get it back. Think about Big Ten starting play first week of December here, so that's coming up. You've got Indiana, then you go to Ohio State, so you want to be at full strength, but also you want to be at full continuity at that point too when you get into conference play. So not enough time together with all the pieces.
McConnell's out of bounds on the sideline. That's a good point. I mean, yeah, you look at the early part of the schedule and you feel like, okay, you can get some wins there, which, you know, I know there's been some grumblings. Who have you played? Well, yeah, that's fine. You build up confidence, you get some wins, and like you just said, you had Miami tonight, you got Indiana, you got Ohio State, you got Seton Hall, you got Wake Forest. Look, so that's a little bit of a stretch there.
If you're Gonzaga and you don't play anybody, it's hard to figure out how good you are. But if you're in the Big Ten, I don't care who you play out of conference, right? Like, if you're Rutgers, you got to win in the Big Ten to be in the NCAA tournament. So Rutgers is in a situation where they don't have to go out and play everybody. They need to build with what they've got. They need to develop continuity with this group, much different than they were last year.
Nijel Pack kicks it up to the top. Long foul on the floor. It's on Mag. That's his first for Rutgers.
Miami's doing a good job of moving it relatively quickly. They're cutting hard. And when you back cut hard to keep the defense honest, you back cut hard, they stay towards the paint a little bit, and then it leads to long closeouts. Isaiah Wong's gotten some long closeouts. He's been able to attack them. Some have been fouls, some have been a driving kick.
Got Antoine Woolfolk coming into the game here for Rutgers for the first time tonight, number 13, true freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio. First big man off the bench for them. Back inside Omier, speaking of big men, and he's fouled. He'll head to the free throw line.
Such a huge difference when Cliff Omore's not in the game. You know, you just see you attack the block right away. There's no hesitation from Miami. We're going to attack the block when Cliff Omore's not in the game, understandably so.
Coming up next on ESPN, the ESPN app, 9:15 Eastern, the 24th annual ACC-Big Ten Challenge rolls on with North Carolina and Indiana. That's from Bloomington, another Sonic blockbuster coming your way tonight at 9:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Feels like Carolina's trying to replicate their season last year, which also means they're trying to replicate the early season struggles where guards are super selfish and take 50+% of the shots. They'll be good late, but they may have to learn the hard way, and Indiana could wake them up. Indiana has the potential to be a really good team this year.
Cam Spencer, a lot of traffic underneath. You can't get it. It's tipped out, though, to Derek Simpson. Now they get it in for Woolfolk, who's inside against Omier. Gets the step and gets the bucket. We're tied at 10.
All right, if Steve Piker, tied at 10, if you can steal a few minutes with this lineup, that would be fantastic for Rutgers. This is not a great lineup for Rutgers. A lot of your firepower on the bench. Cam Spencer's going to have to be that stabilizer out there.
McConnell's taking a breather right now. Of course, they do have another timeout coming here rather shortly as Pack backs off the defender. Gives it up here for Anthony Walker. And that is going the other way. We will be back in a moment. 8 minutes gone by from Miami. We're all tied at 10. In Miami, 10-10, Rutgers and the Miami Hurricanes. Mike Corey, John Chrisman here on the ACC-Big Ten Challenge. Got the game coming up right after us, BC at Nebraska, as this battle rolls on here this week.
Rutgers travels. You didn't know that, right? And here's the thing. There are places that you travel to. There are other places that you say, hard pass. Miami's not one of them. You make the trip to Miami when you can. Also, when you have players that have ties to the state of Florida, it's a good excuse to come back for a visit.
Caleb McConnell's family in the house, his mother Stephanie, right up the road in Jacksonville, Florida, have come down here to watch him play. And what was he telling us about earlier? You know, he had some workouts with the NBA, came back, wanted to play, wanted to win, wanted to finish off strong. And what were we hearing about his prospect at the next level?
Well, who knows about what his real prospect is, but what you do through those workouts is you kind of get an idea of where you stand. Like, what do I need to work on? Obviously, I think people are confident in who he is as a defender, but can you create? Can you be a knockdown shooter? I mean, those are things you have to do. We talk about 3-and-D guys at the next level. It's real. If you can defend multiple positions, if you can make threes, you may have a chance. But I think when you go through that process, you're humbled a little bit by how many incredibly talented players are out there. I know I was. But even really high-level guys that you think might be a first-round, second-round draft pick, you're humbled by the process because not only are there a lot of guys coming out the same year you're trying to come out, there are a lot of grown men who have been scratching and clawing in the G League, overseas, and in the CBA, if it still exists, and some domestic semi-pro leagues. They want to keep playing ball, and it ain't easy.
And that's the thing. You just said that. It's not just about here in this country. It's internationally, and it's really only about the first round these days, right? Isn't it crazy that it comes down to the first round?
It's gotten harder and harder. Just the other thing is, you look at, well, why does the NBA not want freshmen? They don't want projects. You know, it'll take some if there's high-level potential, but if you don't want projects, you look overseas. You get some of these 18, 19-year-olds overseas, they've been playing against grown men for 3, 4, 5 years. There's a reason why Luka Doncic could come in and be effective.
Right.
Manu Ginobili, same thing when he got to the league, because he's been playing against men.
Isaiah Wong was called for the foul for Miami. Spencer gives it up on top. This is Jalen Miller who misses a three. Fight for the rebound. Amori had a hand on it. Instead, it's Miami's Miller as he dumps it underneath the Poplar.
That was a great play. Probably not the best thing in the world to jump in the air in that situation, but he read it really well. Made a great play. Little misdirection with the eyes. Not enough defenders back for Rutgers.
First Miami field goal in over 4 minutes. They had started 2 for 3 and were 2 of 7 since into that last bucket right there. And they have a 2-point lead.
I just think this is a tough scoring lineup for Rutgers.
Tough shot here from Spencer. And rebound goes into the hands of Wong. He's got Bensley Joseph for 3. That's in and out. Had a nice talk with Bensley Joseph earlier today. He's a team guy. His role is continuing to develop. Just a second-year sophomore, number 4 for Miami.
Yeah, your role should evolve. And you get on the floor however you can get on the floor. That's a guy who's willing to do whatever it takes. Look out. That thing hit above the square.
Long the other way. Counted with a foul.
And that's been a big deal so far for Rutgers. The last few possessions, the jump shots have been the first pass of the break for Miami. They've been off and running. And if nobody's going to stop Isaiah Wong, he's just too gifted. He's played enough basketball to understand how he gets his. But for Rutgers, a tough lineup, not a good offensive lineup. Some jump shots that go the other way. And Miami is right back in control of this game. How many minutes they go without a bucket?
4.
4 minutes.
Derek Simpson called for the foul for Rutgers. Long caps off the 3-point play. All ACC third-team selection the last 2 years.
And Rutgers at times will go through lulls offensively. I'm not even sure what that is. They have the potential to be good, but they've done it year over year.
Hyatt for 3. Count it.
That was a good if it goes, not if it doesn't type of shot.
Coach Pico recruited him out of high school. Second year with the program, transfer out of LSU. Nice speed to Miller for the bucket.
Jim Laird said, we're not sure what defense they're in. We just get into some action. I said, what's the action? Ball screen.
Right.
Well, nobody really defends the ball screen particularly well, and Miami just exposed that.
That was a nice feed from Wong. That's the thing, because sometimes just changing your defense, gets a team off balance for that possession, and Rutgers does it so often that you can really create some issues. Here's another 3, and it's Hyatt.
Yeah, it'll create some issues too. No, I like the switching defenses. They don't pressure. They don't pick you up full court. They'll extend their pressure a little bit, but it's not really to get a steal and a score. It's more about just disrupting the rhythm of the game.
8th three-pointer of the season for Hyatt. That's second on the team. And he pulls Rutgers within 1 as Wong tries to do it all here through traffic, and he gets it.
That's a big-time play, and I'm not sure Rutgers can switch and give up the matchup where you have Caleb McConnell on Isaiah Wong. You've got to get the ball out of his hands and get Caleb McConnell back on him.
McConnell going to work himself, kicks it back. Spencer for 3 in the tie. Yes. 3 threes in a row for Rutgers. It's 19 all.
Between Andre Hyatt there and Cam Spencer. Once again, Rutgers goes through a little bit of a lull, comes back, 3 straight threes, and now we're tied up. You got a ball game here. The Waxco set. This is just line them up and drain it. But this next one with Cam Spencer, this is good offense. And that's Caleb McConnell doing what he knows how to do. Get into the paint, get that paint touch. One of those principles that we talked about, the 10 rules. That's one that Miami doesn't want to allow. They do not want to allow paint touches that lead to open threes. And you look at the shooting percentage, 75% from 3 for Rutgers. The thing that jumps out to me in this game, when you look at a 19-19 score, you think Rutgers, the bigger team, they're going to dominate the paint. It's not how it goes. 14-6 in terms of points in the paint, and it's not about feeding the post. It's about attacking off the bounce. Miami's been able to get there.
Isaiah Wong has 6. Isaiah Wong's got 5. Omier's got 6 for Miami. And the top scorer, Hyatt, for Rutgers, as you said, with those 2 3-pointers. There's Omier, Norchad Omier, first Nicaraguan to play Division I college basketball. NCAA active leader in career rebounding average. I mean, the guy's been outstanding. Transfer out of Arkansas State, brings that energy and just that powerful presence,
Experience.
inside.
Experience. Look, the game in college basketball has gotten older and older because of all these transfer rules. And I think it's probably the best thing about the transfers. I know we want kids to be able to go where they want and have the freedom, one-time transfer, that's fine. But I think the best thing is we have more experience on teams.
Long for three, it's short.
Everybody says we want to get old and stay old. Well, the transfer portal is another way to do it.
That's how you do it.
Now, whether you have the chemistry or not, that's always the challenge.
Pass intercepted. McConnell. Here's Poplar, and that's going to be picked off. Spencer's got it. And Spencer gets it stolen away from Pack, getting back on D. Here's Wong, and he holds it up. Pack. Rebound pulled in by Hyatt.
Not the best sequence. It's been a good game, so we'll live with it.
Rutgers is looking for their first lead of the night. 5 turnovers for Rutgers, 4 for Miami so far. Here's Hyatt. And it's a traveling violation. But to your point about a lot of transfers and this and that, how about both of these teams did not lose anyone to the portal? That's pretty amazing.
It is, and I'm sure people can come up with their reasons why, but look, these are 2 desirable programs. You're also coming off of an Elite 8 appearance. Why the heck would you want to leave that? And I understand guys are getting better offers or options elsewhere, but it's a program on the up and up, and Rutgers is certainly such as well. New facilities, it's a big difference. You're not playing for Rutgers 5-6 years ago. You're playing for Rutgers, which is nationally relevant nowadays. This is a challenge for Nijel Pack. Kind of being off the ball, but being asked to handle it from time to time. It's going to take some time for him to really grow into his role and let that role evolve.
Mag for 3, it's good. And that stops a little mini spurt that you don't want for Rutgers. They had 3 turnovers in the last 4 possessions, and now they've got their first lead of the night, 22-19 on another 3, 4th one of the game. Coming up on 6 minutes to play first half. Wong slashing through. How about that?
Yeah, that was just a little miscommunication. Cliff Omier was saying ice, 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 meaning you got to force him to the baseline where he's got his help.
Simpson cross court to Hyatt. Back on top from McConnell. In the post, here's Mag. Feeds McConnell. Nice little touch pass underneath and score it for Clifford Omier as he finally gets into the act here for Rutgers.
Yeah, and he will. He doesn't have to do it on his own. He doesn't have to sit on the block and wait for the ball. He'll get his opportunities with good ball movement.
Another steal. Simpson from McConnell. It's rejected by Omier, but put back up and in by Mawat Mag.
Rutgers starting to get more and more active there on the offensive glass, particularly when the shots come closer to the rim. Those long shots led to long rebounds and runouts for Miami.
Here's Pack. 5-point Rutgers lead, almost another steal, and Miller, count it. Foul is called on Derek Simpson. It's his 2nd for Rutgers.
You know, long closeouts and gambles just get you beat, and they put your teammates in a bad situation. So, you know, Mag's going to go for that steal, and by going for the steal and not getting it, it's now 5-on-4. So you're asking defenders to scramble, cover the 3-point line, but also protect the rim. Last thing you want to do is put somebody like Cliff Omier in a bad situation to pick up fouls because you're gambling around the perimeter, when truthfully, that's not who you are defensively.
Jordan Miller has been outstanding. 5th-year senior, 2nd year with the program. 3rd team Atlantic 10 selection at George Mason a couple of years ago. And of course, with the connection of Larinaga being the coach there previously, now here at Miami. And it's just done an awesome job. They said you can almost make a case that, you know, he is one of our best players on this team. Here's a 3, and it's good by Hyatt. What's gone into him tonight? 3 for 3.
I don't know. Sometimes when you see the first one go, you're afforded a heat check. And if the heat check goes, all bets are off.
5 of 6 for Rutgers from 3-point land, and Miami is 0 for 5. Miller directing traffic. Tries to find Omier. Somehow he collects it, puts it in.
It's just tough. He understands how to operate in a small area. Not an easy catch. Just gets his balance and finishes on the opposite side of the rim. Everybody's aware of Cliff Omier, and he's a shot blocker, so you have to get to the opposite side of the rim.
Fourth annual Big 12, Big East battle tomorrow night. We've got 2 games for you. Top 7 matchup here. Creighton in Texas, Seton Hall in Kansas. That's at 9 o'clock and followed up tomorrow on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I really like this Creighton team. I'm a fan of Texas and what Chris Beard's doing, but I just feel like there's still more upside for Creighton. When you think length, ball movement, pace, it reminds me a little bit in terms of the movement and the pace of a Gonzaga and Arizona, which I think is anti-fragile and impossible to stop.
There's a 3. Omier, he was left wide open. Offensive rebound by Hyatt. Spencer resets.
See if anybody from Rutgers knows that Andre Hyatt's 3 for 3 from three-point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, get it to him. Spencer misses.
That's where a really good point guard understands Andre Hyatt's feeling. We got to get him the ball somehow. There's got to be an action that gets him involved.
McConnell trying to get a steal. In contact, no call. Here is Poplar. He puts up a 3. That's in and out. Miami still missing on all their three-point attempts, but that's what Omier does. Cleans up a miss.
He's built like an NFL tight end. So Cliff Omier's not going to push him around. Omier's got the length advantage, but in terms of outworking him, I got to give Omier the advantage.
Right. I mean, he just goes after it harder than anyone's done. So physically strong. Ball is loose, and it's picked up by Wong. Six nothing run. Miami has regained the lead over the last 1 minute and 35 seconds.
It's been that kind of game. Game of runs back and forth. So you can string together a few good possessions.
Mag. Rejected. Poplar. Oh, and a little bit of trash talking going on there as well at the end of that play. That, so they can understand that there's a tremendous amount of talent. He's also a great baseball player back in high school as well.
I think we undervalue what we have in terms of opportunity, not only to play, but to get better here in this country. The resources given to this game, it's insane. When you really understand the financial dollars that are given to this game, to the teams here, to have the facilities, to have the training, the health care, the food, everything that we have, we take it for granted. We truly do. AAU, I mean, kids are sixth graders, and they got fresh shoes for every game.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably crossed the line at some point, and it's not recent. We probably crossed the line a long time ago. But it takes someone from another country to really point that out, how lucky we are.
Yep, he's appreciative for everything. There's no doubt about it. And has another big rebound here in this game. He's got 5 already to go along with a game-high 10 points. Hurricanes lead it by 1, coming up on 2 minutes remaining first half. Pack from NBA range.
It's a tough one. There's no rhythm in that shot.
What do you want to see here offensively for Rutgers?
It's a tough lineup. They've had some challenging lineups. I don't know where the offense is going to come from, but you got to get Andre Hyatt back involved somehow. Now, you're fine with that, but when you have a guy that's knocked down 3 straight three-point shots, he's got to get a look. And what you have to do is you have to read what the defense does around him. Are they going to run him off the line? There's no way they're going to let him step into a shot and shoot over the 3. That was the right call. That's goaltending.
Yep. Dean Reber gets the basket for Rutgers as Omier called for the goaltend. Almost a steal from Reber. Miami's 0 for 7 from three-point range here tonight, but they're shooting 50% from the field overall. Now Miller wants the first 3 of the game, and he's got it.
And that was a good job by Miami, recognizing the defense, moving the ball, be patient. Now, you also have to watch, at some point, Rutgers in that 2-3 zone may switch out and go man. They did not, so they were patient, kept moving it, and got themselves a good look.
Miller's got 10 points to tie Omier for the game high. Now, 9 for Wong as well.
Usually when I'm quiet, it's because I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, John's in deep thought. Yeah, don't worry, he'll come up with something. Here's a three from Hyatt. It's his first miss of the night. McConnell cleans it up, and a foul is called. And Rutgers has a chance to regain the lead from the free throw line.
I like that Andre Hyatt got a look. I would rather that they worked the ball for him, that they ran something to be able to get him an open look, maybe drive and kick, because you knew at some point if he's not touching the basketball and he's 3 for 3 from 3, he's going to shoot the basketball. So best if you do something for him to get a good look. And then if he misses, then you start to scale back. You get back into your action. But again, you watch that ball go out, hard closeout, shot goes up, another defender's behind him, and you have opportunities on the offensive glass.
Yeah, absolutely. No box out that time on McConnell as he went right through the lane to get that rebound for the bucket. Miller checks back in for Cam Spencer for Rutgers. Omier goes to the bench for Miami because he just picked up his second personal foul. Don't need a third with only 48.5 seconds remaining first half. And Rutgers is back in front.
Caitlin McConnell should feel good getting back into action. He talked to us and he said, look, I just got to find a rhythm again. You can do that on the defensive end first. And I think he's starting to find out where he's going to fit in with this group offensively.
Neither team is led by more than 5 points. We're in a 1-point game here now with an 18-second differential shot clock, game clock. Faking on the three. Bensley Joseph, here's Pack for three. No good. Miller's got it. Shot clock reset to 20. Still 23 seconds left in the half. And Casey passes out of trouble in the corner. And a timeout taken by Miami. 14.1 remaining in the first half. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Rutgers is running that zone again. I'd still screen the top. I would set a ball screen on the top of that zone. I don't think they're going to be in zone, but I would look to get Isaiah Wong turning the corner. And if someone steps up to switch, then you clear and give him room to work. Play to your matchup advantage.
Here's Nijel Pack, gets to the Miller, and he hands off to Wong.
In zone, you got to screen it.
Joseph pass to Miller, dangerous there. It's intercepted and stolen. Rutgers, Jalen Miller, 3 seconds. He's blocked by Bensley Joseph, and the follow is not there, and that's the end of the half. So they didn't get a shot off, but did a nice job there to not let Rutgers get a late basket. Let's see that again.
Yeah. Not the prettiest of plays, obviously a bit of a breakdown. Bensley Joseph made the right play. If you have no size at all, but you have guys that can break it down off the bounce, get inside the paint, lead to a drive and kick, now you get long closeouts, now you get to the basket. So easier opportunities when you have guards that can get there.
Yeah, and the tallest guy that got out there is 6'7". So
yeah,
they don't have a very tall team. Miami, one of the smallest in the country, ranking outside of the top 230 nationally, actually, in average height. Here's McConnell on the drive to get things started in the second half. Offensive rebound, Omier, and he keeps it alive for the Scarlet Knights. What about Omier? How did they get him more involved here? Now they're trying to get him on the post.
I wouldn't overcommit to getting Cliff Omier the ball. And doesn't mean he can't do anything with it. He gets his own, and he impacts the game in his own way. And right like this, offensive rebounds and stick backs. Why go out of your way to stare him down just to throw him the ball? If there's a way where you can get him along the baseline, maybe get him on the block with a defender on his back, that's one thing. But he's not that dominant type of post presence on the offensive side of the ball. Doesn't mean he won't get 15 to 16 points a game. He does, but he does it more on his own than anything else.
You just called it. Right on cue there, off to the 2 misses from Spencer, and Omier puts it back up and in. And with the free throw after the foul on Wooga Poplar, it's Rutgers by 4, just underway here in the second half.
I would also say it's hard to live in the paint if someone's occupying the block. So you have a dominant big, but he can't really get the ball in the paint because the defense is taking that away. So vacating the paint from time to time is what's giving Miami opportunities.
Isaiah Wong shut off the foul line. Works through the lane, rejected by McConnell. On the kick for Spencer. Back in for Cale McConnell. Let's fade away over Miller.
I love that shot. Not just because I got taken out all the time when I shot it, but it's the greatest way to get space without sending the chicken wing the defender's way.
You're saying you didn't have a high percentage with that one.
No, I shot a decent percentage.
Oh, okay.
It's just one of those things, like we're barely allowed to shoot threes.
Gotcha. Omier. He couldn't get his fade away. McConnell with a rebound up to Spencer. Shut off the baseline of Omier. Timeout, Miami.
And I'm going to give that one to Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer did a masterful job of working that baseline. Just in terms of reading defense, he's got his head up the entire time, shows the ball high, throws it down. Largest lead of the game for Rutgers. Don't ever give up.
We partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. Please join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research.
Yeah, and that speech was kind of the ignition moment, right, for a huge movement that really has changed the world in a number of ways, but it's also inspired a lot of people in this great game to be awesome. There's a lot of people at ESPN. I think ESPN's done a great job of carrying on the legacy, but there's a lot of good people that have done the same, and I think I commend the people that have carried the torch, so to speak, and have done nothing but build from what Jim Valvano started that night.
Well, and Dickie V.
I mean,
amazing.
He'll do more with everything outside of basketball than I'll ever do in my life. And for that, you just can't say enough. Let alone thanks for helping make an industry I get to be a part of.
Yeah. Hyatt for three, no good for Rutgers. Offensive rebound, Omier.
All right, big tennis ball and a bucket that's hanging about 7 feet off the ground. That's what it's like for him to dunk a basketball.
Wow. Pack for three. Rebound, Omier. Wow. And somehow he puts that up and in.
Nijel Pack's got to get his feet set. He's got to get shot ready. There's no reason why that's not a step into in-rhythm three. He hasn't found rhythm because he's been catching, not ready to shoot.
I had asked about trying to get Omier back in a little bit more involved. We've certainly seen it here in the second half. That was an unbelievable throwdown on that last sequence, and they got another chance at it here in the offensive rebound.
Well, let's see what they're doing here now. And man, in the late clock situation.
He's got 11 points now, which leads Rutgers in scoring. 2 seconds to shoot. He palms up a three, and that's good. The junior Clifford Omier, NBA potential out of Nigeria. On the Kareem Abdul watch list for the top center in the country. And here is Omier, guarded by Omier. Runs into a double team, and a foul's going to be called.
All right, so watch. Tennis ball, bucket, 7 feet above the ground. He just palms that thing and throws it down like it's nothing. Look at the reach. Like it's humbling, and then it's made even more humbling when he goes out and knocks down a three. It's just impressive. I mean, you talk about NBA potential. I almost feel like anybody who plays at this level has NBA potential. It's just that people aren't reasonable enough with their potential, right? Their potential is not to be Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Your potential might be to be Al Horford somewhere down the road, where you just make a career of being a great teammate.
Yeah, Dunk You Very Much is right. I mean, last year he was number 1, number 2 in terms of dunks in the nation, and he could be the first-round pick since Quincy Doobie back in 2006 for Rutgers, who had a 3-year NBA career, was picked 19th back then in 2006. Doobie is actually coaching at Somerset Academy Charter High here in Miami. Got his first win as a varsity head coach the other day. Thought he might be in attendance tonight, but he's out there coaching his team. But Omier is delivering in this second half with a game-high 14 points as Rutgers has a 10-point lead here in Miami.
Partner, you asked me, how do you get Cliff Omier involved? Well, you do absolutely nothing. He's going to figure it out on his own. Somehow he gets lost within the defense. Now, as we're switching defenses, a couple guys don't realize they're in zone. But this is what he does. He's able to physically dominate. He gets the basketball in good, tough situations where the only thing you can do is foul. And if he's knocking down threes, look out.
Well, and look out, offensive rebounding advantage to Rutgers, 12-5. Second chance points, 15-4. You see what Omier's done here in the second half. And then Miami entering the game shooting 33% from three-point range. Not that bad. And then tonight, there's just 1 for 11 from the outside. And it's a 10-point Rutgers lead.
A big part of that is Nijel Pack's gotten some decent looks, just hasn't seen anyone go down. I think he's got to really work off the basketball to be shot ready. When I say shot ready, you're stepping into the shot as you're receiving the basketball. Villanova says it. We talked about it. You know, I did that game, Villanova and Temple. Being shot ready means you are catching and already in your shooting motion by the time the ball gets there.
Villanova 2-5 the start of the season. I know they're playing a lot of tough competition. They got some injuries.
No Cam Whitmore, no Justin Moore. They're a different team, but tough. No Jay Wright is probably the biggest deal of all.
Miami 1 for their last 6, and that's here in this half. And a 3-ball from Miller. He changes that.
Yeah, that's a tough ask. You're asking Cliff Omier to take that away. Decent defensive possession, but if Miami can start seeing it go through the hoop again, get multiple stops. This has been that type of game, right? Run after run. Who can string them together?
Miller's got 13 with Omier for the team high for Miami. McConnelly's fouled, and we'll have 2 free throws coming up.
You know, we talk about flow and rhythm. It's really hard against Rutgers because of what they do in terms of switching their defense, disguising their defenses, kind of hiding what they're doing at times. They'll show a 2-3, drop out into a man. You're not sure if that's a man or a matchup. You got to read the principles. Ultimately, you just got to play ball.
Second foul on Isaiah Wong. McConnell's got 1 more free throw coming up tonight, 9:15 Eastern. North Carolina, Indiana on ESPN and the ESPN app, of course, as the ACC-Big Ten Challenge rolls on. You were saying you weren't too pleased with North Carolina's early action, kind of like what it was last year.
It's kind of like, it's typical where you're like, you have a great season, you finish up so strong, and you forgot all the little things that made you who you were late. Pete Nance is filling in for kind of that Brady Manick role, spacer, but also a good defender, good length. But it's been so guard-heavy to start. That's hard to believe when you got Armando Bacot down low.
Miller again for 3, not good. And Omier there for the rebound. Spencer feeds it over for Andre Hyatt. It was money in the first half with 3 3-pointers. Omier, not a good pass that time from Mag. Quickly on the run is Nijel Pack. Dumps it for Miller, and he's fouled. Excellent transition. That's one thing Miami said, hey, we can beat them up the floor in transition. Don't have to worry about those changing defenses all the time for Rutgers in the half-court set.
You don't want to allow Rutgers to get set. I would say you don't want to play against a set defense, so the best way to do it is force it up the floor and then make them respond to you, make them chase, make them scramble. Now you're in control of the possession. Anytime you don't know what you're doing or don't know what they're in, it leads to a reset, and that means the defense resets too, where they get to see the basketball, communicate, get set up.
Mag with his second personal foul. Miller, who's the youngest of 4. Jeffrey, Javon, and Justin. He was telling us last week he trained with his brother's friend during COVID in boxing and was learning a lot from what it took to be a boxer, controlling your breathing, hand-eye coordination, some stuff that he's transferred over, you know, to the basketball court. And then after basketball, he said, whenever that's done, let's get in the TV broadcasting job.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
I got enough competition. Now, boxing, a lot of guys like boxing in terms of the training. They don't like boxing when you start getting hit.
Right.
And it's something you just can't appreciate. I don't get big into the UFC. I get squeamish at times. But, man, I give those guys credit for being able to focus the way they do in such a physical fight.
Yeah, and taking those hits. You're absolutely right. Here's McConnell as he scores on the mid-range, and he's back into the flow here now. Just a second game back. Missed 6 weeks with a knee injury. And he's got 13 points, 1 off his teammate, Omier, for the team high. Pack. And Omier's got it.
That was good offense but just better defense. And the better defense I'm talking about for Rutgers was the scramble. They scrambled out to the basketball 3 separate times where they were chasing the play, what took the shot away.
3 ball, it's blocked by Harlan Beverly from Miami.
I'm going to make the point again because at halftime, coming out of the break, I was watching Paul Mulcahy, who again is out again with a shoulder injury. I was watching him interact with players, and what you saw was an experienced leader. And it's not just in what he's doing or saying, it's how the team responds to him, which means that's a significant loss. Not having Mulcahy here is significant. And it's significant when you're trying to build a team for Big Ten play as well.
Yep. Spencer coming off the screen, gets the ball on the inbound. There's Woolfolk, who's back in for Omier, who's going to get a breather, who's got 14 points and 8 rebounds. He averages a double-double, and he's on his way there again. Here's Woolfolk. Shot clock 2. Got it off. And it's ripped away by Miller on the rebound. Jordan Miller. Tipped up and in by Wong.
All right, so this is a lineup. What I'm looking at, you're asking for Caleb McConnell, and Cam Spencer. Andre Hyatt hasn't really been doing as much in the second half, but you're asking for them to do a lot. When your offense is to throw it into Woolfolk and ask him to make a play, that's going to be tough sledding.
And they try to go inside, and it's intercepted. It's Wong again.
It's not a good offensive lineup for Rutgers right now.
Wong for 3.
Back. And that's what you do. You punish a bad lineup by attacking. You punish a bad lineup by just taking the ball away from them. You take away passing lanes, force a bad shot. You get the ball inside. You think you have the advantage. You do not. Miami took that away, and then they went on the attack on the other end. You've got to punish a bad lineup.
That is a quick 5-point run by Miami to cut the lead in half.
You look on the offensive glass, you get beat. No one stops the basketball. No one blocks out Isaiah Wong. He gets to the rim, tips it in. And then the other end, I'm not sure where you're going here. This isn't your offense if you're Rutgers. And then no one really stops the ball. Good screen. No one steps up. Isaiah Wong again. And this is what it's been, back and forth. Now, the problem is for Rutgers, I don't know what's back and what's forth, what's good and what's bad for Rutgers. You can say it was good when you had a good lineup in, but you lost it with 1 or 2 pieces out. So that's why I go back to that Paul Mulcahy being out. That's significant. You just don't have the confidence with some of the bench players that have to play significant minutes.
Talking about the senior out of Bayonne, New Jersey at 6'7". Didn't play in the last 3 games. This is his 4th game missed with a shoulder stinger. And he had never missed a game in his career until these last games that he's missed here this season. He led the Big Ten in assists last season. Talking about that senior guard that's out for Rutgers. And a steal here by Wong. All of a sudden, he's doing everything.
I don't know how much of it was steal, if it was just a giveaway. I mean, Kevin McConnell was not really going anywhere on that possession. Didn't get into anything, just not going anywhere.
Right,
There's nothing there. And yes, Isaiah Wong comes up with the steal, and Cliff Omier picks up a cheap foul.
Yeah, he came right back in, and he was called for the foul. His second. Miami began 1 for 11 from 3-point range, and they're 2 for their last 3 now. Miller.
That's trouble.
Takes it in strong. What do we have? Offensive foul, Jordan Miller.
I don't know what's happening. We just don't call travels anymore. But when you catch the ball and then step into it, that's a travel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We've gotten to the point where we try to justify it with whatever the NBA is doing. Say, well, the gather rules, so we're going to allow the step back that takes 4 steps backwards.
Right.
And I love the people that argue. They just say their argument is it's not a travel. It's great. All your experience in the game tells me it's not a travel. It's a travel.
Offensive foul, Rutgers. Dean Reber called for his first, and this will take us to a timeout. Just under 12 minutes to go from Miami. Canes on a comeback trail. Deficit is only 5. Rutgers leads it by 5. The lead has been cut in half. They had a 10-point advantage. Rutgers with 7 turnovers total in the first half. And they've got 4 in the last 3 minutes here. John, what's going on?
I think at times it's lineups. I mean, you look at the different groups Rutgers has had on the floor. There's no real continuity. There's certainly no flow. And defensively, poor communication. It's going to be a challenge. Not a lot of teams are incredibly deep, but Rutgers is one where you can go into your bench, but you are going to sacrifice something. And right now they're sacrificing too much.
Isaiah Wong pulls up, tough shot, and he hits it.
And I think Isaiah Wong, if Caleb McConnell's not in the game, you've got to attack with Isaiah Wong. He can get to the basket, he can pull up the jumpers. Isaiah Wong's been really good tonight.
This is a 7-0 run over the last 1 minute and 10 seconds for Miami. Get right back into this thing. Simpson gets it to Omier, and the outstretched arm with the length lays it up and in from point-blank range.
It was incredible. I mean, it looked like he was going out of bounds, like he's going to jump out on the baseline and just extends the left arm and finishes. That's not going to be your offense, though. Going inside to Cliff Omier is not going to be what wins the game. This will help.
Showtime! Derek Simpson.
And remember, when you see this group with Caleb McConnell on the bench, a few other starters on the bench, it's all about stealing a few minutes.
54-47. Rutgers just got the last 2 buckets. Omier with a game-high 16 points.
And I like what Rutgers did there in terms of going back and trusting that man. I wanted to see him play some man, and this is just a simple ball screen action. Try to turn that corner, you fill behind. Great read by Simpson. This has got a little bounce to it. Everybody can dunk nowadays. You ever notice that? Like, there was a time in high school where I was like, oh, wow, you guys have 2 guys on your team that can dunk. You know, our high school warm-up, and half the time the kids can't shoot, but they can dunk. It's just impressive.
Well, Derek Simpson controlling it now here, the true freshman. Ball gets knocked out of bounds.
Miami's done a good job understanding that they're undersized. You've got to play. If you're going to front, you've got to play backside help.
Yep.
And when the backside help hasn't been there, it's often been against the zone. So when they're sitting in zone, you don't have that backside help, you're going to get beat. But when it's there, you just force a tough pass.
Mags got it, swings it out. Andre Hyatt wide open for 3, not there. Rebound by Miller. Poplar's been a little quiet tonight. Didn't get that one. Omier battling again. I mean, he's that one guy, right, that's always going after it.
What does it say he's listed at? Because he looks 6'5", 6'7". Yeah, he looks 6'5", 6'6". It's like Charles Barkley.
6'7", 248. Number 15 in white for Miami. Here's Simpson on the take. No foul. Rebound Omier. Here's Wong. Miller wants an alley-oop. He doesn't decide to do that. And he takes it out. And they'll set something up. Poplar. Miller for 3. Mags got the rebound.
It's a challenge right now for Isaiah Wong. He needs a shooter on the floor. He needs somebody to kick to, but also someone to keep defense out around the perimeter. Just hasn't been the night for Nijel Pack, though. 0 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 4 from 3, and he's gotten decent looks.
44% shooting for the game. 33% though this half for Miami. Hyatt inside, Omier. Nope. Here comes Joseph. 9 minutes to play in this contest. Miami's largest lead is 5. Rutgers' largest lead is 11. It's 7 right now. Besley Joseph not there. Miller offensive rebound. Feeds the cutting Omier. And free throws coming.
It was close. I know Cliff Omier wants that verticality on that play, but you've got to turn and square yourself to the shooter. He was sideways, went up, and yeah, while he had his hands up in the air, he was sideways. So you got to be straight up facing the defender, or offensive player, excuse me.
That's his 3rd personal foul for Clifford Omier. 2 shots for Norchad Omier. What a lineup we got coming up for you on Saturday. Starts at noon with the Big 12 Championship, followed up by the American Athletic Conference Championship, and then the ACC Championship before Sunday at noon for the College Football Playoff Selection Show. We'll have the exclusive reveal, the final college football playoff rankings, and find out who's going to be playing in the Fiesta and Peach Bowls, all coming up this weekend.
Does TCU win that game?
I think they do. I think they get in there. I think a lot of people are kind of pulling for them, right?
Yeah, they have to. You're sitting there at 3 right now, and that'll validate your season. Win here, college football playoff. Georgia seems to be pretty darn good, though.
What a year for them.
So is Michigan.
Yeah. Sonny Dykes, an amazing job at TCU this season. Big weekend coming up. Inside with a hook is Mawot Mag.
It's something we haven't seen a lot from Mawot Mag. And seen a lot of step out, shoot some shots, but to really take the initiative to find a matchup that you like and attack it on the bounce.
Junior from Australia puts Rutgers back up by 7. Joseph slashes through the defense. Bensley Joseph.
He's kind of that X factor, glue guy, a million other cliches or analogies to talk about what he does for this program. But I want to see if you can get Nijel Pack somehow involved in the finish of this game. You got 7:45 left, and he hasn't really impacted this game yet.
Spencer for the Scarlet Knights. Hyatt tries to throw himself over the hoop. It's taken away, and Bensley Joseph's off to the races.
Great job by Nijel Pack sealing that off. I think in soccer they call that encroachment. That's all I know.
Mag with 8 to shoot for Rutgers. Crowd is on their feet. Can't silence some of that shot, but an offensive rebound and a 3 by Hyatt. Tapped by Omier. Saved from going out by Hyatt. What a play. Crowd only cheers louder. 10 to shoot again. McConnell pulls up. Finally, it's rebounded by Nijel Pack. That'll tie it.
Said it at some point, you got to get Nijel Pack going. He's got to be able to impact this game. And it's not just about him scoring. It's about him now drawing defenders further from the basket where you can start to attack the paint again, whether it's on the bounce or the pass. Nijel Pack steps right into it. That's just too easy. 53 for Miami, and it's done a little bit with the defense, but they've also been aggressive on the offensive end. They have been the aggressor here late in the second half. It's been back and forth a bit. But if you get Nijel Pack going late, look out. Different team you've got to defend here for the final 6:09.
Well, you can see it. And over the last 10 minutes, Rutgers had led by 11, but there's been 2 separate 7-0 Miami runs that have got them right back into it. We are now tied. 6:09 remaining. The last lead for Miami was with 1:20 left in the first half. They're up 33-31.
And I like what Miami's done defensively, just switching things up from time to time, being disruptive on their own with switching defenses. And I've got to say, Omier he's taken that advantage that you come into a game with Cliff Omier, you think you have the advantage. Omier's taken that away. He has matched him, pound for pound, fight for fight. It's all been there. That one's been a bit of a wash.
Exactly. The numbers are so similar. Omier's got 15 points and 8 rebounds. Omier, has 16 points and 8 rebounds. So it's right there. Exactly right. Here's Derek Simpson now for Rutgers. Mag falls down, lost the ball. Miller had it for the moment. Mag gets it back. And now we're going to have a tie-up, and a jump ball is called, and it's Miami possession.
Just been some bad possessions offensively for Rutgers. I mean, getting it in a bad spot, trying to put it on the floor, not sure where you're going there. Just nowhere to work because you got Cliff Omier on the block. So you're driving right at an occupied block. And it plays into the hands of Miami, who now gets the basketball. You extend this defense, I would be cautious because Miami's got ball handlers that can dribble right through it.
A little bit of pressure here from Rutgers with a tie game at 56. Just under 6 minutes to play. Hensley Joseph is going to bring it up. The guy that was born in Miami, was here for just 8 months before moving to Massachusetts. Now back, and now a steal. McConnell, he got it knocked away. And it's out of bounds off of Wong. A good job to stop a basket in transition.
I like this matchup. I like the Caleb McConnell, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year versus Isaiah Wong. And they have been back and forth, but Wong has matched him on the other end, too. He's been physical in the defensive end.
Spencer for three. And you're shaking your head as it's rebounded by Miami.
If you don't shoot it right away, then you don't shoot it at all. That little hesitation takes all the rhythm out of the shot. It becomes a low percentage shot.
Omier gives it up to Pack. Miller for three in the lead. Count it! They hit 1-3 in the first half. They've hit 4 here in the second half. Knocked out of bounds, stays with Rutgers.
You know, Omier's doing a terrific job of fronting in the post, but getting on that high side. You get on that high side, you're just taking all the passing opportunities away. Just been opportunistic on the offensive end, hitting shots. Now we go back. Omier's defense is kind of the unsung hero in this game.
Yeah.
You've taken that advantage away by forcing Omier into bad spots on the catch.
Hyatt for three to tie it back up. Front rimmed it. Omier had a hand on it, but instead Hyatt's going to have it. So he slashes through and clangs that one, and it's still going to be Rutgers' possession. It's a 10-0 run right now by Miami.
Yeah, Rutgers up 15-8 in terms of second chance points. And it's not that they've dominated the offensive glass. They've just kept possessions alive.
Yeah.
A lot of tap outs from Omier.
Rutgers is 0 for their last 6. Spencer for the tie.
That's a better shot.
Tipped by Wong into the hands of Miller. He's got Pack, and it got knocked away and stolen. That was Spencer. Back on D, number 10 for Rutgers. Second in the nation in steals this program. That's why. McConnell. Mag underneath. Hyatt. Yes. 1 point game. The other thing about Rutgers is they're first in the nation in perimeter defense, 3-point percentage defense. Opponents shooting just 18% coming into the game, and that was per se true in the first half. Not here in the second half. Miami's 4 of 8. Omier to the hole. Not there. He couldn't get it. McConnell intercepted. Hensley Joseph 3-on-1. Pack. Three-point lead for the Hurricanes with 3:13 to go. We'll be back.
Squad at the time, obviously, but this was, you know, as you started to see things come together for Rutgers, started to see the fight, and it was different. 2018, Rutgers ends up winning this game, and they started to look like a team that you could see being an NCAA tournament team, whether they could win in the Big Ten.
3-point victory for them. And now here we are tonight, where the Hurricanes have taken control on some big runs here. You see it, 12-2 over the last 4 minutes and 49 seconds.
Now, the problem is they've given up some runs as well, so it's kind of been tit-for-tat, your turn, my turn basketball. And look, that's the way the game's played nowadays, where you get up and down the floor. Sometimes you make shots, sometimes you miss shots. You got to be able to flow with it. But I think Miami's had more answers in terms of being able to find a way to score, being able to get the ball off the bounce into the paint and cause problems for the defense. Get the ball inside. I mean, the fact that Cliff Omier really hasn't been dominant down low. He's made plays, he's impacted the game, but hasn't dominated in any way.
And I know you're looking to see a little bit better of an offensive set here for Rutgers with the possession right now.
Yeah, and this is where you're starting to see no Paul Mulcahy. That's a big deal. He's their stabilizer, their anchor, their facilitator, their initiator. But he also has a great feel for the game. He knows where the ball wants to go.
Senior guard's been out for the last 4 games. Rutgers did have an 11-point lead in this game as Spencer misses a 3. Miller's got the rebound. They are 1 for their last 10, and then taken away. The crowd wants a foul. Back to Spencer. McConnell for the 3 in the tie. That's good.
I would say not as much the second chance points, but the second chance opportunities are killer for a defense. You did everything right, just didn't secure the rebound, or you were careless with the basketball on the rebound.
15-8, second chance points in favor of Rutgers. McConnell's got 16. That was his first 3-point attempt and make for the night.
Well, they didn't even count that one as a second chance point. And frankly, in my mind, it's 18.
Good point. Here's Pack on the runner. It's not there. It's tipped around. Omier's got it, and he's battling with Mawat Mag of Rutgers. They're going to call a jump. Coach Larinaga is furious for Miami. He wants a foul. Instead, it's going to be Rutgers' possession.
Again, not a second chance point because it doesn't come off of a rebound, but you create a second opportunity with the steal, and you can get Caleb McConnell an open 3. You can tie this thing up. There's so many correctable issues in this game for both teams. Like, you're that close to pulling away, but you just have to have the polish. Not a lot of teams have early season polish.
Crowd has been on their feet for a long time here at the Watsco Center, and a ton of red jerseys as well, and shirts behind the Rutgers bench. They traveled well. Got a lot of fans here in the area also. We are tied at 61. 5 to shoot. Traveling violation.
Yeah, what you're alluding to is Florida's a good place to retire if you're from Jersey. You and I are both living in Jersey.
Yeah. We've enjoyed
all
our time
the taxes we're going to pay until retirement. We'll make up for it when we end up down here someday. But yeah, no, a great show out from Rutgers. And it took a little while for this crowd to get here from Miami, but they got a fun product on the floor.
And a big shout out to the Amigo Grill and Company, steak restaurant that we went to last night. How awesome was that?
That was fun. That was good. Yeah. Casual steakhouse.
Francisco took care of us. It was only us. We were the only one in the building. It was awesome. Timeout, Miami. All right, let's go strategy here for you, Mr. Crispin. Tied up at 61, minute 36 to go. What are you doing?
It all depends what Rutgers doing defensively, and maybe Rutgers shows a little zone, and then they switch out to man if they get late in the clock. But I think you've got to attack quickly. You got to see if you can create advantage on the offensive end. If you play your turn, my turn, meaning we just work it down and spend 30 seconds on a possession and take a bad shot, and then you give it to Rutgers. You can't do that. I think Miami's got to be attacked early. Rutgers has to be patient. You got to move the basketball. You got to get it side to side. If there's an opportunity for a dump in, which it hasn't been there, Omier's been so good defensively. But for Miami, look to get into an action quickly. And whether that action is something like a flare screen or a rescreen, ball screen. It's as simple as that. Now, I also want to say, Bensley Joseph has been a game changer for this Miami team right now, this night, because he's been the one handling the basketball, which has allowed Nijel Pack and Isaiah Wong to play off the ball where they're actually much stronger. So Bensley Joseph may have a lot to do with this. He's been stable and good.
Yep, he's the first off the bench. We talked to him before the game. He said he likes that role. He understands it, and he's been a huge part of this group right now, the sophomore out of Arlington, Massachusetts.
And the big part here is sideline out of bounds. Get to see what the defense is doing. Makes it much easier to attack.
Omier. And Norchad Omier puts Miami in front by 2. A minute 15 to play. McConnell is checked by Bensley Joseph. And a timeout, Rutgers. Steve Peichel calls it with 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in this contest.
So this is where Rutgers has to be patient, right? You're going to look to attack if you have it, but the first thing you have to do is create space. Part of the reason why they've turned the basketball over the last few possessions is they haven't had room to work. They haven't had space. They haven't had space to throw passes. They haven't had spaces to drive. So if you can just clear space, move it side to side, be patient, maybe look for some duck-ins, they might be there depending, again, what Miami does defensively because they've been going into zone.
That staff right there that you saw, Steve Peichel, head coach, Carl Hobbs, Brandon Knight, T.J. Thompson, the assistants. Not only did they not lose anybody in the portal, that staff's been together all 7 years together in Piscataway, New Jersey. I think that's a big reason why this team is picking up steam, trying to make it 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments. And the early part of the season, they got a 5-1 record, and here they are down by 2 at Miami.
But the challenge is now, again, we go back to no Paul Mulcahy. You don't have that guy that can sit there, read the defense, see rotations, see what defense they're in, for crying out loud. Yeah. You're going to ask guys like Cam Spencer to make a big play, and he struggled tonight. Cam Spencer, a guy who comes in averaging 17 points a game, he's 1 of 10 from the field. He's 1 of 5 from 3.
Right.
So hasn't really done it. Can he hit a big shot? I think Rutgers just has to move the basketball, be stable and steady on this possession because the last few have not been good.
Rutgers is out of timeouts, as you see. Miami's got 1 remaining possession arrow. It's favoring Miami if we get a jump.
Now, one of the things that we haven't seen much of is any sort of, like with Omier playing on top, I would look to run somebody along the baseline and try to take him out and allow Cliff Omier to duck in. If he's going to sit high, Omier should be out of game position. If somebody cuts across that baseline and takes Omier out.
Omori's up at the foul line with Hyatt. The ball's in the hands of McConnell. Omori sets a screen. Here's Spencer on the drive, on the kick. Hyatt fakes on the 3, goes right to the hole and misses. Rebound by Miller. 50 seconds remain in the contest. Miami ball, 2-point lead.
Yeah, Miami really dodged one there. Great steal by Omier to give Andre Hyatt a wide open layup. I'm not sure what happened. He just got careless. And cute. Sometimes you get too cute. Just power up. Jump stop, power up.
Nijel Pack with that huge 3 earlier.
Dagger time.
Here he goes again. McConnell with 15 seconds. It's blocked by Long, and it's out of bounds. Rutgers ball. And how about Nijel Pack on a night where he's 3 for 12? 2 of those 3, the biggest of the game. Let me tell you,
look, this is the biggest thing. You cannot leave a man isolated on the top of the key. When you get a guy like Nijel Pack dribbling, he's just gaining rhythm. And please believe that shot's probably going in.
Inside is Mag, and it goes off the rim, and it's rebounded by Miller, and a foul is called with 8.1 seconds remaining.
How about the fight for Miami? They haven't figured out who they're going to be yet. And it's going to take some time, but they've had answers in this game. Rutgers has given away some opportunities in terms of some buddies there at the rim. I think the biggest one, too, is Rutgers has just been careless with the basketball. When you're careless with the basketball, you don't finish strong. You don't capitalize on opportunities. That's been the problem down the stretch.
2 missed layups right there for the Scarlet Knights. And with just 8.1 seconds remaining, Miami to inbound with a 5-point lead. And you had said it. How about Nijel Pack?
Well, he had to impact the game in some way, shape, or form. He made a big 3, and that was huge. So he hits a 3. Now he feels like he's at least hot or on again. And you allow him to rhythm dribble into a shot. That's just too easy.
Well, that's all it takes is 1. Right?
Yep.
You're absolutely right. He started 0 for 8. That's not going to rattle him, right? Yep. He's just going to shoot. He's open. He's going to put it up. And
well, in that situation at the top of the key, look, if I ever get stuck on a good shooter who's got room to drive, I'm going to turn around and say, be ready to help. Because there's no way I'm going to let him walk into a shot with rhythm off the bounce. And so I said before the shot went up, I said dagger time. Like, I've been there before.
Yeah.
That's an in-rhythm shot, and that becomes a 60-70% make shot.
Well, you called it. Hurricanes 7-1 in the ACC-Big Ten Challenge over the last 8 seasons, trying to go to 8-1. And what a job down the stretch here in this one.
And I mentioned Bensley Joseph. Played 25 minutes today. No turnovers.
Joseph makes it 68-61, just 6.6 remaining. McConnell, nag for 3. Not going to be enough. Miami coming back from an 11-point deficit to beat Rutgers by 7 tonight here at home to improve to 7-1 on the season.
Give Miami all the credit in the world. In terms of their fight down low, Omier was terrific. I can't say enough about what Omier did in this game, but Isaiah Wong was terrific. Nijel Pack stuck with it. He hit the big shots.